Hi, everybody. My name is Tristan, and I actually want your feedback on something. I am thinking about taking this and turning it into a little mini course on how to build something like this, and I'm wondering if it would be something that folks would find valuable and helpful. It's been extremely useful for me and extremely helpful for me, and I am very, very glad that I have it. But, just testing the waters real quick. So let me explain what this thing does. This is an OpenAI assistant. So it's kind of like a custom GPT, except it's like the next step beyond the custom GPTs as far as capability, right? So this can do pretty much everything that custom GPT can do, only it does a little bit more, and it has some more options behind it. So for example, with a custom GPT, you can have like 20 files attached to it. This thing can have 10,000. I think I have like 300 in this thing right now. Keep loading. Click, 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 click. Yeah, there's a lot. And there's actually still more. So you can have a lot of these things. And as you may have noticed, I have Zoom summaries and transcripts saved into this thing. So what this does is every time I have a Zoom call, it will automatically take the transcript of that call and it will save it to this AI. So then what happens is I can come back over here and I can say, give me a summary of the group coaching call I had on 7/31/24, I think is when that was. Let's double check. 7:30. So we started a group coaching thing, and this was our first call. So I was going to go through, and it's going to read through this file right here, through the whole transcript, and then it's going to go through the whole thing, which I thought was kind of neat. So the way that I'm using this is that, one, it just gives me like information on all of these calls. So if I had a call last week and I want to remember what everything was about, remember what we actually talked about, I can come in here, I can say, all right, computer, tell me what that call was about. Give me a project update, give me a call summary and everything. I'll go through and pull that information out. This was a 2-hour long call, and so it's going through and it's pulling out all the information. It might run faster if I move it over to GPT-4o Mini. But extremely helpful and valuable in that case. The other thing that's really cool about this is that I have also given it like my proposal templates and my case studies, and I've also given it like my project scope templates and my agreement templates and all that kind of thing, my invoice templates. And so this thing can also go through and write out like that entire pricing thing for me. It can write out the entire project scope, give me a list of all the deliverables, give me a list of all the stuff that I actually need in order to move that project forward after the call. And the way I have mine set up, it also sends me an email afterwards with all the information from it. Just that way I have that, so I can just read all that as well without having to log into this and go through and double check everything. But like I said, it's been extremely, extremely helpful. And what's also really cool about this is that it's completely automated. So I don't have to manually upload these calls or these transcripts. It just happens. And all that is done through Zapier, which I think is pretty cool. And so, like I said, I can now take all this and I can just use it. I have access to all that information. And right now it has over 200 calls saved in its memory. So I can go back and I can ask, okay, I've had 5 calls about this specific project. I want to get a timeline of how this project has progressed. And I want to see, how the deliverables have changed over time. Or I want to evaluate my sales process, or, I turn this thing into a what did you call that? Like a sales call coach, and say, okay, here's the process that I kind of want to follow for my sales calls. I want you to coach me on how to improve these calls based off of these transcripts. And so you can pull out all kinds of really, really useful information out of this. And I think it's really, really cool. Now, that being said, this is the entire Cynthia project. So Cynthia is just the name for my AI assistant. What we're looking at right now is like this part of it. This part's kind of in there as well. You can kind of tweak that in there with Zapier, and this is just like saving the information to Notion, because that's the other thing, is it will also take these summaries and take the transcripts and everything, and it saves it to my Notion account, so I can go back and read that as well, or I can interact with it through the chatbot. Some other stuff that's kind of built into this as well is I have like a prioritization system, and then I also have a scheduling system kind of built into that. what I'm working on right now, kind of like my next big step, is just some sort of an interface. So I am messing around with some different AI, or not really AI, but like some different app builders that have AI capabilities. So playing a lot with something called Flutterflow, which seems to be doing a really, really good job. And then after that, I'm going to start tying in some additional functions. And those additional functions are going to be things like, so I use Notion as my CRM. So having it being able to go through and actually check and see the updates on the individual projects, that kind of stuff. Creating a list of tasks that need to be performed during the day. I guess I can zoom on this so you can see a little better. So going through, checking Notion, seeing what the product status is, being able to send emails, being able to check the calendar, like I said, get a list of priorities. That list of priorities is also going to be based off of this. So it's going to figure out like what the actual priorities are. And then what's really cool about this, I believe, is that I can then plug this thing into calling other AIs. So for example, if it sees that, hey, we need to work on a YouTube video today, then the assistant, so like Cynthia here, will be able to go to the thumbnail AI, right? So I have like a thumbnail idea generator, and it can go to that and say, okay, we need some ideas for this thumbnail. Here's all the information about the video. Same thing with like the title agent. I don't know why agent's in here twice. But it can get me like a list of titles that we could potentially use for the videos, or like scripts, so that kind of stuff, avatar research. And so then I wake up in the morning, I sit at my computer and I say, good morning, computer. And the computer says, hello, Tristan, here is your to-do list for today. And here are all the tasks that I already took care of for you, and the tasks that the other AIs kind of already did because they have access to this information for me. And then it can also go and pull up information on those past calls and know exactly like who the clients are, what the projects are, what the project scope is, what the deliverables are, and all that kind of cool stuff. So like I said, I found this to be an extremely valuable tool. And again, we're still a little bit ways away from finishing this, but a lot of that is based just off of this little system right here. And like I said, I've got this thing set up to the point where it's copy and paste. I have all the templates already built for this. I have all the instructions already built for this. I have all the Zapier automations already built out. And so if somebody did want to do this, then it would literally just be logging into these different systems, making sure you have an account set up, and then copy and pasting the things, and then like copy and pasting like your API keys and all that. So like I said, I'm thinking about turning that into a mini course or something that I could put up on my site. So if that is something you guys would be interested in, I'm very curious to get your feedback, and I'd love to hear from you. Then also, if you're interested in this group coaching thing, we just started this past week, and I think we have some time to squeeze in a couple more folks. We're doing a quick beta test, so going to run for a couple months and see how it goes. But that being said, I think that'll do it for me. Hopefully this is giving you some ideas. If you're already like pretty advanced with AI stuff, you probably already know how to do all this. So hopefully just an idea for something really useful that you can do for yourself. But if you would like some help, or if you'd like to go through that kind of a course setup to get something like this, then let me know.